Hi and welcome back to Normski TV, doing another review of the game. Arsenal 0, Crystal Palace 0. And what can I say, mate? What a drab game, man. What a drab game. Seriously? That's all I've got to say, man. Back to Arteta ball. That's all I've got to say, man. Back to Arteta ball. Slow, boring, sideways, backwards. Just listen, man. Just want the one, man. The team. Boy, this is how bad it is. Xhaka, for me, got man of the match. It's between him and Leno that got man of the match. For me, the rest of the team, man, sorry, they just weren't performing. And as for Maitland-Niles, mate, you just look out of sorts. I know you haven't played for a while and it's difficult. I don't blame you because obviously you're a utility player and it only seems like you only come in when other players are injured or sick or whatever. But other than that, man, you was terrible on that left-hand side. You was giving away the ball. We missed Tierney, mate. And when I saw the team news yesterday, didn't see Tierney on the bench, didn't see Pablo Mari on the bench. Obviously, we're hearing that, he's going to have an MRI scan today to see the extent of his muscle tightness or whatever it is. Same with Pablo Mari, hearing that he's going to miss a few games. Rumour has it that, and I don't know, it's speculation, that if he plays a certain amount of games, Arsenal would have to pay Flamenco £1 million. Now, how true it is, I don't know, but it just seems coincidental that it's happened. But I'm not going to go into it because I don't know enough to be speculating or whatever. But, other people are talking about it. And if that is the case, well, that's just terrible. Arsenal, again, with their drab business, the way they're doing business right now, not good enough. But as for yesterday, the team, it was like we was flat, tired. We looked tired. We looked void of ideas, trying to break down, this parking the bus of Crystal Palace. A lot of people like to use this word, low block. Bellerin came out and used it, and David Luiz came out and was talking about this low block. Mate, it's literally, Crystal Palace were organised. They look more organised than us. Personally speaking, they must be disappointed that they didn't come away with a win because they played a lot better than us. They had the better chances. I don't know what happened to Lacazette yesterday. Don't know what happened to Aubameyang yesterday. Saka, all of our front three went missing. There was just no creativity. It started from the back. This whole thing, David Luiz, for me, when he's in the side, the game slows down like nobody's business. I missed Pablo yesterday. We getting the ball from back to front, missing all of that. It's almost like we wait for the teams to get back in their positions, and then we can't break them down. It's just that we were void of ideas how to break down Crystal Palace. When you got a man like Eze and Zaha, Benteke, if he had his shooting boots on, or he would have probably had a couple against us. You know what I mean? Our defenders were left isolated. I think we got outplayed in the middle of the park. How it looked. The first half, we started well. First 10 minutes, we looked good. Second half, same thing. We looked good for the first 10 minutes, but then Crystal Palace came back into the game. You wouldn't believe we're playing at home. For crying out loud, we are playing at home. And this is a sort of performance. This was back to the old Arsenal. You know what I mean? And yes, we was missing, Kieran Tierney, who for me brings so much energy down that left-hand side. We missed that. As I said, Maitland-Niles just looked out of sorts yesterday. Just looked like he hadn't kicked a ball for months. And just didn't do himself any justice whatsoever. What I'm saying here, first of all and foremost, is that we need to get a left-back in. Kolasinac is gone. He ain't good enough. We need to get a good backup left-back for Kieran Tierney. Because when we haven't got a natural left-back, this is what happens. We have somebody that's going to have the thrust to be getting up and down that left-hand side, putting in those crosses for the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette. We didn't have that at all. Saka didn't have a good game yesterday at all. Running down blind alleys, just his touch, everything, just weren't good. As I said, between Xhaka and Leno, I would say, would probably be getting the best marks. But for the rest of the team, I'm sorry, not having it. Not having it. Let's just go through the team news that came out. So, we had in the back, obviously, Leno in goal, Bellerin at right back, Holding, David Luiz as the two centre-backs, with Maitland-Niles playing as the left-back. So you can see our problem there already. And then in the middle of the park, we had Ceballos and Xhaka. Three up in front of them was Saka on the right, Smith Rowe in the hole, the number 10, Aubameyang on the left, and Lacazette up front. So we played a 4-2-3-1 formation. Obviously, on the bench, or the people that came, off the bench, was Nicolas Pepe, Thomas Partey, and Eddie Nketiah. Now, I will go into, obviously, when I come to the player ratings, I will individually score these guys and their performances. And to be honest, as I said, the only two outstanding players from the best of a bad bunch was Leno and Granit Xhaka. So the game, the way it went, literally slow, lethargic, just predictable football once again. But Aubameyang getting marked out the game. He talked about wanting to starting to improve his game and to get back to his old ways of scoring. Didn't see that again from him. Again, looked void of ideas. Missed a couple of chances. His passes just not on. His movement, lack of movement. Generally speaking, those little 1-2s between Smith Rowe and Saka weren't coming off. Lacazette, he tried hard, trying to come for the ball, but didn't get no service whatsoever, and that was a problem. You got the two, Xhaka and Ceballos. Ceballos picking up the ball. There was a time where he picked up the ball. He had all the time to play the ball forward. And what does he do? Spinning top as usual, spins back, plays the ball backwards. And it's the same pattern all the time. The same pattern all the time. Spin, plays it back to Luiz. Luiz plays it to Holding. Holding plays it to Leno. And it's boring. It's boring. We don't move the ball quick enough. We do not move the ball quick enough through the lines, and teams are able to get back in their position, in their defensive shape, and then we just find it hard to break it down. And then what happens is our passing is just off right now. The amount of loose passes Maitland-Niles did in the first 10 minutes of the game, and that continued throughout the game. No wonder he got subbed, into the second half. Just weren't on it at all. Aubameyang, loose passes. Smith Rowe, Saka, passes weren't coming off. Ceballos, passes weren't coming off. Xhaka, with Xhaka or Granit Xhaka, what I do like about him is that his long-range passing is good. Do you know what I mean? He will find the players like Saka and Aubameyang, you know what I mean? He'll look up, he can spray those passes. That's what he does good. But it's about his movement or his ability in the middle of that park. He hasn't got legs. Yeah, he can't keep up with players. You know what I mean? And there was one time where I think it was the second half. Fortunate enough, I think Bellerin got back and saved the day. Where he slipped. Thought they were on. I can't remember who it was. If it was, I can't remember if it was Benteke or Eze. Sort of kind of pushed the ball out wide, and I thought they're hitting us on the break here now. Lucky enough, Bellerin got a block in and he went out for a corner. But it's just a mad thing. It's a mad thing. What I'm seeing with this team, and it's just like we've gone back to the old Arsenal. And it's not nice to see it's Arteta ball, and we're not. You see, my thing is when we get players in, supposedly is players, yeah, good quality players. Are we going to be able to change the way we play football? Or is it going to be that Arteta ball where it's just literally we play this very pragmatic style of football, this expansive football? I don't know. It could have been fatigue. Arteta came out and said, the players look tired. He was disappointed that we, last third was losing the ball. We didn't create enough chances and, to put away our chances. And it just weren't good. Crystal Palace, I think from Tompkins hit the crossbar, and a couple of other chances. A great save that Leno pulled off from Benteke. It was a floated cross or free kick, and literally Leno's across, lovely save to push it out for a corner. But they had the better chances and they could have won the game. Not only that, we broke another record because it's the first time that we've not scored a goal against Crystal Palace in 30 years. We're breaking unpopular records like nobody's business. It was 4 games in a row where we lost at the Emirates, losing against Wolves, losing against Burnley. These were records that were broken. Aston Villa, records that were broken. And here we go again, starting again, breaking unpopular records. This cannot go on, man. Arteta, you've got to find a way to break down the people that are parking the bus. We've got to learn to play football. The problem with us is that the time that it takes us to get the ball from back to front, literally, I count how many touches Luiz has. Like, he will get the ball and he'll do this little jig on it. Then he's like calling people and he's having about 5-6 touches before he lays it off. And then when he does lay it off, he turns and lays it back to maybe Holding. Then Holding hops on the ball. I just don't get it. I don't know if these guys are good enough footballers, you know what I mean? Obviously, Luiz tries to create from the back, you know, he tries to float those long passes forward. But a lot of the times, yesterday, they didn't reach anybody, do you know what I mean? And for me, you know, the team performed terrible yesterday. You know, this was a chance to go within, I think, 4 points of Tottenham and just to you know, close the gap. But we end up, you know, drawing a game, drab 0-0 game. You know, it's not to say that Crystal Palace, they didn't play brilliant, but they're the ones that look better than us. And that's not good, especially if we're playing at home, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm going to go now and start the player ratings. It's going to start off with Leno in goal. I'm going to give Leno a 7 because he did pull off a really great save. Very composed, you know, when he needed to catch the ball, punch the ball, he was very composed. Didn't think he really put anything wrong. The only thing about Leno is just that sometimes he takes a bit long to distribute the ball because he's always waiting for the other team to get back in their position rather than trying to create a quick counter-attack or see the quick counter-attack. You know, he just waits for the other teams to get back in their positions and then that's when he decides to then look up and start playing balls out to either Luiz or Holding. It just doesn't work for me. These long passes still not reaching, you know, their preferred destinations. So he has to improve on those things. But, you know, in terms of, you know, the last few games, he has played well, saved us against Andy Carroll. You know, we could have gone out in the FA Cup, made 2 double saves there, fantastic. So I'm giving Leno a 7. I think I'm not going to give him man of the match, but I'm going to definitely give him 7. Bellerin, again, I don't know why he keeps drifting in so narrow and then he leaves that massive space. And then that's why I think Holding a lot of time gets caught out because he's doing 2-man's job. Because Bellerin vacates the space, pulls in narrow, or when he picks up the ball, he always cuts in. It's just like he has got no pace. And there's times like when the ball's played past him, yeah, he's closer to the ball, but yet you've got Eze or Zaha beating him to the ball. It may be the camera angles, I don't know, but he has definitely lost his pace. Definitely 100% lost his pace. And, you know, there was one time, and I don't know what he was thinking. That's what I'm saying. Listen, you're not a striker, so why are you in the 25-yard box or the 18-yard box after a ball was played in from, I think it was Saka, and you go and intercept it when it was sitting for Aubameyang, Lacazette? I mean, what were you doing? What were you playing at? Please, somebody tell me what you was playing at. Stay in your position, learn to defend. The only thing you did right yesterday was take the throw-ins all right. Yeah? And then there was a little bit worried about that. Yeah? You're not good enough. You're there making your documentaries. I'm tired. I don't want to see no your documentaries. Yeah? Focus on your football. Listen, seriously, this guy, come the summer, he needs to just pack his bags, get to Barcelona, and continue planting your trees there. Yeah, that's what you need to do. We need to get someone in like Lamperty. All right, he signed a new deal with Brighton for 40,000. Let's go, break the bank, get this guy. He's much better than Bellerin. He's fast, he's pacey, he's strong. All right, he might be small, but mate, the crosses that this guy puts in. Listen, Bellerin, you're not good enough for Arsenal. Simple as. You've lost it big time. I'm giving you a 4. I don't care. All right, yes, fair enough. There was a couple of chances where you did put in a couple of good blocks, but your overall game yesterday for me just wasn't good enough. Holding, I think he was the only one that created the most chances in terms of, you know what I mean? Believe it or not, Holding it up. Yeah? Had an okay game, not brilliant. You know, there was times where when he did push up to sort of, you know, close down, people like, especially in that midfield area, to try and intercept the ball. There's 1 or 2 times he did that. And then, you know, from there he was able to, you know, play a ball to create those 2 or 3 chances. But the thing is, when he vacates that space, there's no one in the back to cover him, because Bellerin is up there as well. And that's why I say that side, Bellerin and Holding, that side is very weak. I'm shocked and actually surprised, and I'm glad that, you know, Eze and Zaha, especially Zaha, didn't take more advantage of that side, because, listen, you know, you're going to target that side because that side is weak. But to be honest, even the left-hand side, between Luiz and Maitland-Niles, because he was playing like he was a midfielder. Do you know what I mean? Vacating the space, but I'll come to him in a minute, right? But yeah, for me, Holding, I'm going to give you a 5, mate. I'm going to give you a 5. You've signed a new deal, but mate, I'm just hoping that just because, well, look, he looks like he's going to be around. But boy, if it was me, I'll be trying to flog him in the summer. We need to get him decent defenders. Saliba hopefully will come back a better player than when he left Arsenal on loan to Nice. But we'll have to watch that space. So Holding, you're getting a 5. David Luiz got a yellow card early. He said sometimes he's a bit rash. He did, to a certain extent, keep Benteke quiet, because he was quite aggressive, especially when those balls were coming over the top. He was quite aggressive. I'm gonna give Luiz a 6. I'm gonna give David Luiz a 6. Maitland-Niles, mate, bro, what was you doing yesterday? Seriously, what was you doing down that left-hand side? Your touch was off. Listen, the first couple of minutes, I thought, that's it. He's going to have a terrible game. Literally giving the ball away. Just not controlling it. You know, I think there was one time where he made a run, crossed the ball. I'm thinking, you've got to put it in the box, not behind the goal, in the box. You know what I mean? Just was not on it yesterday. Wasn't on it yesterday. You know, he was pushing up, he's vacating the space, leaving a big space in the gap, because he thought, man, I'm playing like a midfielder. Nah. And because it's not his fault, because he's not a left back, he's a midfielder. That's his job. But unfortunately, Tierney was not available, so he's the man to come in and fill that space. But you can tell that he hadn't played for a while, and the look on his face, just, I thought, you know what, you need to come off. I was just hoping that Arteta was going to, take him off in the first half. And sometimes you have to act like that. I know Mourinho would do it. You know, move Saka into that left position. Eventually that happened. Move Saka into that left back position and put Pepe where Saka is. But that happened obviously in the second half. Maitland-Niles, mate, sorry, man, 0. You're getting a 0, man. Your game was terrible. Absolutely terrible. We're fortunate to, as I say, come away with a 0-0 draw. We should be thankful because, as I say, Crystal Palace had the better chances. Ceballos, spinning top Ceballos, man. I couldn't work out between Ceballos and Xhaka why they were playing so deep. So there was a massive gap between Aubameyang, our front three, and our midfield. So every time that ball came into the middle of that space, in that box, not in the box, in the centre, Crystal Palace players, as in when they came into the game, they were controlling the game. Ward and all them, man, they were controlling the game. And because Xhaka and Ceballos have not got their legs, we seem to get taken apart in there. And now, obviously, we'd wanted Partey to start, but because he's been out injured for a while, he wouldn't have been up to the speed of the game. And I will come to Partey, when I come to do his ratings. But Ceballos, man, you got, when you pick that ball up, man, stop spinning on it. Yeah, you don't need to You get it, and then the half turn is half turn back to your goal. It should be half turn, then go forward and get that ball forward. There was a couple of passes he made and I thought, yeah, it was good. But generally speaking, spinning top Ceballos, play it back to the goalkeeper or play it back to Holding or David Luiz. Not good enough. Listen, you're there, come on Arsenal TV, not Arsenal, Arsenal TV talking about, you wanted to come back to Arsenal, but mate, it's your twin brother that's come back. The one that left last season, yeah, that was the one that we wanted back. You have not performed, you really have not pushed on at all. You haven't got the legs, you haven't got the physical ability to cope in this league. And I'm giving Ceballos, I'm going to give him it's fluctuating between a 4 and a 5. I'm going to give him a 4. Sorry, I'm going to give him a 4. Granit Xhaka, for me, was the man of the match. He made I've never seen so many blocks, tackles. There was a couple of times where he went to the ground and intercepted the ball. I thought, wow. But there was also a couple of times where he had to rectify his mistake because he gave the ball away, but he was, which I couldn't believe it, quick to recover and win the tackle back. There was one time when he did slip over and I thought, typical Granit Xhaka, like he's falling over. I have no idea. But for me, he definitely was the man of the match. I mean, defensively, he protected that back four. And I'm giving Granit Xhaka a 7 and man of the match. Not going to give him an 8, going to give him a 7 man of the match. Saka, who played on the right-hand side, wasn't one of his best games, to be honest. At one point, I was asking, anybody hear Saka's name? You know what I mean? Just looked out of the game, and then when he did get the ball, didn't really do much with it. Again, a couple of times where just running down blind alleys and nothing came off of it. So, and that link-up play between Smith Rowe just wasn't happening. Passes weren't coming off. I'm giving Saka a 6. Smith Rowe, not one of his great games. Listen, we have to play him because, we are missing that number 10. We know Ozil's on his way out, so he ain't going to come back there anytime soon. So Smith Rowe is now, we're putting a lot of wholeness on, on Smith Rowe, but we don't want to get this guy going into the red zone. He did look a little bit tired and fatigued, coming very deep for the ball, but just wasn't coming off for him. And I'm going to give Smith Rowe a 5. Aubameyang. Mate, Aubameyang, come on, man. What is going on, man? What is going on? You've just lost all confidence. Everything that you do, your touch, your passing, you just lack confidence. The passes ain't coming off. When you play a ball, you stand still. You don't move, pass and move. Where's all of that? Where's it gone? Where is it gone? Gotta find the shooting boots quick, man, because, mate, wasn't good enough. You're a captain. Lead by example. At the moment, you ain't leading by example. I'm giving the Aubameyang a 3. Lacazette, again, didn't have a great game. Void of service. Tried his best, tried hard, but nothing. I mean, the only big chance that could have fell to him, ends up, Mr. Bellerin nicking the ball off his feet virtually, that was his chance gone. Lacazette, I'm going to give him a 4. Yeah, I'm going to give Lacazette a 4, man. Wasn't his best game yesterday. Chomping at the bits, but yeah, it wasn't his best game. Right, so in the 65th minute, they took off Maitland-Niles, brought on Pepe. Obviously, that meant that Saka would drop into the left-back position, or left wing-back, whatever you want to call it, depending on how they changed the formation. And Nicolas obviously went out right. But again, typical Nicolas Pepe, comes on, takes on 1, 2, and the third player loses the ball, tackles himself, or if he's predictable. He's not making that position. When he comes on, Saka is far further down the line than this. This is a £72 million player. And I ain't seen anything from this guy. Nothing. I mean, and I'm sorry, mate. if an offer came in for him in the summer, I'd be literally, come on, sell this guy. I've seen enough now to say that this guy is not ready. Either it's because I know some people might say he needs a run in the game, but for me, nah, man, this guy is definitely not a £72 million player. Definitely not a £72 million player. Mate, I'm giving Pepe. He didn't come on and change anything. I'm giving him a free. Mate. Thomas Partey came on for Danny Ceballos, and you could see that he was off the game. You know, I don't blame him because he hasn't played a lot of games. Didn't really do much. Again, didn't really affect the game, to be perfectly honest. And you could see he was rusty. He will get back to his form, but obviously, as he gets his fitness back and he plays more games, then, you know what I mean, hopefully, by the time Man United game comes around, which is at the end of the month, please, Partey, be ready for that game, because that is a massive game. If we play like the way we played yesterday, mate, Man United will tear us apart. So I'm hoping that he will get his fitness back. But judging on that performance yesterday, not really good. Gonna give Thomas a 4. Eddie Nketiah came on for Lacazette. Again, it's Eddie Nketiah, isn't it? Yeah. League 6 player. That's what he is, bro. So, man shouldn't be in the first team. Sorry, man. Shouldn't be in the first team. He needs to either go out on loan or we just look to sell him. West Ham, come put a bid in for him, guys. Put a bid in for him, because I'd rather see Balogun there, to be honest. You know what I mean? Didn't see what this guy did. I couldn't believe it when they actually took off Lacazette. You know what I mean? Couldn't believe it. And bringing in Eddie Nketiah. What's he going to do? He didn't do nothing. I think he's not even worth scoring. If I'm just going to give him a 2. I'm just going to give him a 2. As for the manager, Arteta. Yeah, I know you were disappointed and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's a difficult one. But obviously, it's not his fault that, you know, Tierney and Pablo are, you know, injured and that. But he could have, when he took them in, I don't know what he said to him, you know, at half time. But it obviously didn't make any difference when it came out. I was said for 5-10 minutes they had a little bit of a flurry, and then it just went back to normal Arteta ball. Sorry, Arteta, not good enough, mate. I just don't think you're cut out for this club. This top club, you're not cut out for it, man. I'm giving you a 3. I'm going to give you a 3, mate. I don't know what we're going to do. We ain't going to lose them anytime soon, so we can, you know, we can just put that to bed. I just hope that players like Tierney, Martinelli. I don't even know if Martinelli was even on the bench. He might have been on the bench. Was he on the bench? I don't think he was on the bench, to be honest. If my memory serves me right, I don't know if he was on the bench. But look, come Monday, we've got another game against Newcastle at home. You know, Newcastle are going to come play the Brucey ball. Again, they're going to come, put 2 banks of 4, and we're going to have to try and break them down. We have to be more expansive. We've got to be more expansive. We've got to go and take the game to Newcastle. We can't afford to be drawing against Newcastle. They haven't got a good record. At the Emirates. So we need to sort it out, and sort it out big time. I don't think they'll start Andy Carroll, yeah. But what they'll probably do is, if the game peters out and it's still a 0-0, then they may throw him on with the last sort of 10-15 minutes. You never know. They may even start him. But you know what I mean, we got to come better than what we're doing at this current moment. Let's not get back to how we was playing 5 weeks ago or so. We've got to get back to winning ways. As I said, we end up with a draw yesterday, and not really pleased. Now, just want to quickly, just do a couple of transfer news before I end this. And Arsenal, they've been linked quickly with a let's find it here. goalkeeper Neto from Barcelona. Now, there's talk that the Barcelona keeper Neto, they're saying this is the demands that Neto is making. Basically, he's saying that Arsenal are interested in him when we can get him on a loan, but he's basically saying that he will not move to the Arsenal unless he gets guaranteed regular football. So that puts that out the window. We do need to find a goalkeeper quick. He's not getting any game time at Barcelona, but that's according to Mundo Deportivo, who report that the stopper is open to a move, but not unless he's made the promise of playing. Arsenal are yet to make that promise, and move appears unlikely as things stand. So there you have it. I thought that because he's not getting any game time, he would probably have a better chance of getting game time at Arsenal. But if they can't promise him that, then wow, it might be difficult times ahead. We are looking to probably get Renison out, either on loan or permanent move. It would be a permanent move for me. Speaking, that's what we need to do. Get him out on a permanent move, and try our best to sort out a new goalkeeper. Mustafi, I thought this guy was going to leave. This guy, man, he's sticking around, mate. He's going to move on a free in the summer. You know what I mean? Just read it. This is from. I'm not too sure. I think it's Football London. They're saying that Shudran I'm going to just read it. Mustafi will leave Arsenal for free at the end of the season after he was denied a move away from the club this month. The German has fallen down the pecking order at the Emirates, and he has just 6 months left on his current Arsenal contract. He's one of the players who returned to form on the appointment of Mikel Arteta as the Arsenal manager last season. It basically goes on to say his fine form meant that it would make sense for him to be rewarded a new deal. However, Football London claimed that earlier that he rejected a new contract offer from the club. The Gunners can try to offload him this month and make some money from his sale. But Sun report says that Mikel Arteta has denied him a move away from the club. I don't know what he's doing with this manager, While Arsenal had too many defenders at the start of the season, the recent departure of William Saliba and Sead Kolasinac has left them thin in that department. David Luiz has also suffered an injury, which means that Arsenal will need a defender that can cover in their absence. I don't know when he did that. I don't know when this was said, but I didn't remember seeing Luiz injured yesterday. But Gabriel Magalhaes, Pablo Murillo, he looks like he's going to be missing a couple of games. It makes sense because we are going to be short, but Arsenal haven't got the money to go out and buy a decent defender. We've let Saliba go on loan, and we need to sell before we can actually buy. So it looks like we're stuck with Mustafi for the foreseeable future. On news regarding Ozil. Ozil, they're saying that Ozil is willing to leave without a payoff. Mr. Ozil is willing to forego the sum of remaining 7 million on his contract to secure a move away from Arsenal this month. David Alston reports this from The Athletic. Ozil previously stated that he wanted to see out his contract at Arsenal before making a switch. However, Alston now reports that the negotiations are ongoing between the player and the club regarding any early termination. Look, it looks like it's going to happen. Hopefully, it will happen before the end of the month. That's the hope of it. That it will happen at the end of the month. But it's just this thing about his contract and whether Arsenal are willing to pay up his contract, or I just don't want to see him here in the summer. He just needs to go, get him off the wage bill, and just pay off his contract. Get him off our books. There's too much noise going around Ozil off the pitch, and it's not good for the club. Arsenal, concerning Bendia, they've delayed their decision. According to later on in the window, they're actually going to wait a bit longer in the window before they make a decision on buying him. Now, Bendia has Norwich has put a price tag on his head of £40 million. Arsenal, I can't see them doing that. Now, the Gunners are interested in Buendía, as Football London previously reported, and they view him as a potential solution to their lack of creativity in the central midfield. But again, Fabrizio Romano, he spoke to a well-known YouTube channel, and he basically said any decision on the Norwich City star will wait until later this month. He quotes to say he's one of the options, Romano, he's one of the options, and there's been contact with his agents in the last weeks. Arsenal are making some inquiry with many agents as they look for a quality midfield. So they are talking with other midfielders like Ousmane Ouar. Don't think he's going to come. He's going to cost anywhere in the region of around 60 million to 50 million euros. I don't think Arsenal are going to be able to afford that. Not only that, Lyon are top of the league and they're doing very well. Will he leave? Can't see it happen. Obviously, you know, come the summer, he may want to go to a bigger club, bigger platform. But for now, you know, Lyon are doing very well and there's a possibility that they could win the league. So, you know, we've got to try and get in a quality midfielder. Buendía would be good. He's a talented player. Scored 7 goals, 7 assists. It could be more for Norwich. They're at the top of the league, doing very well for them. So we'll see if anything comes of that. But for now, you know, I can't see what's going to happen. Draxler, you know, was linked with Draxler. Apparently, he wants to stay until the end of his contract at PSG. So again, we've been linked with this guy for donkeys since Arsene Wenger. I mean, that boat has sailed, man. That boat has absolutely sailed. So I wouldn't even talk about that. Other than that, there's really not much more to talk about, apart from the fact that we need to get the man's like Marie back soon as possible. As I say, he's going to be out for a couple of games. Don't know the extent of Kieran Tierney's injury. I'm hoping it's just precautionary and that he will be available for the Newcastle game, because we surely did need him. After watching that drab yesterday, we definitely need him. There's not much more to talk about. I think, you know, come tomorrow, we may hear some news. You know, it tends to be a lot of activities on a Friday, so we may hear something concerning Ozil. But boy, I don't know. It's long right now. We haven't got long left before the transfer window closes. January is a very short period for the transfer window. So Arsenal, if they are going to get in an attacking midfield, they need to do it quick. We do need a goalkeeper, as I said. Whether we get Neto is another thing. And I think we're not going. I think if we are going to make any kind of signings, whether it's loan or an actual permanent signing, it would be a goalkeeper and a attacking midfielder. So we just have to wait and see how it all goes. Listen, guys, thank you again for supporting the channel, for watching me talking away, talking nonsense sometimes. But listen, guys, thank you for staying in there with me. Please like, subscribe, share, and I said, let's grow this channel together. Thanks very much. Take care.